Howdy folks, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. This is hopefully going to be the last, or one of the last, replay roundups that I'm going to show you from the 100,000 subscriber replay contest. And that's because, good news, I have less than 200 entries left to judge. So we're going to kick off this replay roundup, and hopefully, beginning of next week, we're going to be actually announcing some winners and giving out some prizes. But we're kicking off this roundup with Volkers in his 121 Chinese Tier 10 medium tank. This is probably going to be the first time I've ever shown you a replay of this tank. And I'm not really sure what to think of it. Bear in mind, never driven one myself. Might have had a couple of games in one on the test server when the Chinese tanks were being prototyped. But this is another prototype fantasy tank. A tank that was never produced. Well, they made a couple of prototypes of it. It has a 122mm gun. Look at the size of that gun. A couple of things to bear in mind here. This gun has 440 alpha damage compared to the usual 390 alpha damage of all of the other tier 10 mediums, aside from the Batchat and the T62A. But it has the same reload as the gun on the E50M. It's got a faster reload, and that gun is to all intents and purposes exactly the same as the gun on the IS-4. Now the IS-4 is a heavy tank. It has a big roomy turret. The loader on this tank also has to do radio operator duties, and yet this thing has a better rate of fire than the same gun on the IS-4. Ah, bless you, Wargaming. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. They take a gun that just wouldn't fit in a turret that size. And be able to fit the crew in it as well. They make the guy responsible for loading the gun also do the radio operator job, and yet somehow they manage to get that gun loaded and fired faster than on an equivalent tier heavy tank with a bigger turret and a loader who only has to load the gun. It has more alpha damage than the E50M and the same rate of fire. Fantasy tanks for the win. Well, anyway. Yeah, it's a pretty good gun. No argument there. But it has that Chinese weakness. The gun depression is awful. Look at that. That's the gun at full depression. Oh wait, there it is. Watch as he comes over the ridge here. It is just terrible. Terrible gun depression. Oh, he set the T62A on fire. That's nice. All these guns are lined up against him, and the T62A leaves the cover of the rocks and tries to make a run for it, with 4 tanks shooting at him. Like, that was never going to work. IS-3 took a pot shot at the side of an FV215B and missed. That E50M is going swimming. If this T110E5 has anything to do about it, he is actually going down to push him into the water. However, bear in mind what's going on here. Oh, Batchat over there just unloaded into him. Volkers hasn't noticed yet, but I think he has now. Rearguard IS-8 just got nuked. We've got 2 tier 9s and a tier 10 coming up behind us. And everybody is hauling ass and getting the hell out of dodge. So can you side scrape in this thing? Well, we haven't been hit yet. Volkers hasn't used any of his premium ammo yet. Why would you do that? Why would you do that in an AMX-12T? I just don't get it. I mean, look at what's waiting to shoot at him. Why would you do that in a tier 6 light French tank? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, Volkers has switched to high explosive anti-tank ammo now, because he's only got shots at the front of the turret of that E75, unless this IS-7 decides to start poking, and E75 gets a return shot in, which, look at that, that basically knocked his gun out. So he's used his large repair kit to get his gun back up. And he's going after this IS-7 while that E-75 runs away. Now, did you see that? He hit the side of the pike nose of the IS-7 with high explosive anti-tank ammo, and it bounced. You still have to aim with heat ammo. You pretty much need to smack as flat a surface as possible because it doesn't get a normalization roll against sloped armor. So there's a much better chance that it's actually going to bounce. He's in trouble here. He's just lost all of his friends. He's got an IS-8 and an IS-7 closing in on him. So he makes a very brave move. It's actually a very smart move, but watch this IS-7. You know, he's got backup over there. That IS-7 is waiting to shoot at anything. Well, he fires and he misses. He takes the IS-7's tracks off. The IS-7 has lousy gun depression, probably can't hit him. IS-7 repairs, comes down, misses. Sucker! Now, there's an IS-8 and that E-75 has come back, and this is... He could so easily have died here, but they're afraid of that IS-7. And now the cavalry's just arrived. The IS-8's been nailed, and that E-75 is next. So Volker's picked his moment wisely there. He made it without taking any further damage. But somebody has to go back and reset this cap. So the IS-7's going back. Volker's is going back. Watch that E-100. That's going to be dangerous, but somebody has to get back. Oh crap, it's a Jagdpanzer E-100 and his gun's pointing this way. We need to get the hell out of here. E-100 up there, or possibly the Jagdpanzer E-100, couldn't really tell who, just unloaded a world of hurt into that IS-7. He's now stuck and he can't get out here and help us. E-100 up there doing his level best to help defend the cap here. Plants one right into our ass. And now, this is where that gun depression is liable to get you killed, or that lack of gun depression. There is absolutely no way you can get your gun pointed at that Jagdpanzer E-100 without him being able to put one into you. So, Volkers and this Patton and the T-62A are all going to try and work to split this guy's fire. He takes his tracks, allows his buddies to get up around him. The IS-7 is busy dealing with that E-100. We're going to lose that T-62A, surely. Oh, he's gotten around him. Patton's backing off. He's found himself in front of his gun. Mediums have done it. Now they've just lost their IS-7 to that E-100. And there's still a Foch 155 there as well. Watch this. Foch 155. Kills the T-62A. Seconds later, we put a shot into him as he comes around. Patton plants one into the E-100. Foch finishes off the Patton. The reload on this gun is pretty good, but it wasn't good enough to stop the Foch from killing everybody. Now, we've got 2 tanks left. One of them is capping. E-100 appeared to be firing high explosive shells there. And you've got to feel sorry for this E-100 driver. This guy's sitting here on 4 kills. He's done a butt-ton of damage. He is never going to get back to reset that cap in time, but he has to try. And in order to do it, he's got to expose the rear of his tank to a tier 10 medium. And we've tracked him. We're just adding insult to injury now. If we hadn't tracked him there, it's just possible that maybe he might have made it back in time. But he's never going to do it now. And we're just farming free XP and credits on this poor guy. E100's now on such low health that even if he did get back, the T110E5 could one-shot kill him. But it's not going to happen. Well, 570 health, T110E5 probably couldn't one-shot kill him, but it's irrelevant. The game's over. We've capped. Well, there's his battle results screen. I want you to pay particular attention to this number here, okay? The number of credits he earned, which is amazing. 190, we'll call it 120,000 credits earned in a non-premium vehicle. That is pretty epic. And as you know, and Confederate, and 3 kills, and almost 2,000 XP undoubled. Not bad at all. But just remember that number, right? 119,500 credits earned. We'll see how much profit he made on this game. But first, team scores. 9,482 damage. That's pretty special. 3 kills. And it wasn't exactly a massive carry. He had some capable teammates. But the enemy team, as a whole, did better than our team. And it was literally just, if Volkers hadn't been there, they would probably have lost. That E100 in particular, 6,799 damage done with 4 kills, and he still manages to lose. Poor guy. The IS-8 as well. Tier 9 tank, the Tier 10 game, does 4,000 damage and gets 3 kills. So, disappointing game for the losing team, but somebody has to lose. But this thing, this 121, I don't know. Is it borderline overpowered? Having a gun as good as that on a Tier 10 medium? It gets more alpha damage than any other Tier 10 medium tank in the game. And it doesn't seem to suffer a rate of fire reduction, despite the fact that the loader on this thing is also the radio operator, and the turret is... I don't even see how you can fit that gun into the turret. It certainly explains the lack of gun depression. But that gun's got the same rate of fire and more alpha damage than the E50M's gun. And it's functionally the same as the gun on the IS-4. And the IS-8 for that matter. But it's got a faster rate of fire. In a smaller turret. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But hey, it's World of Tanks. It is what it is. Now remember, that number there. 120,000 credits earned. Pretty impressive. But he only walked away with an 18,000 credit profit. That's because his ammunition resupply costs were almost 70,000 credits. 10,000 also for his consumables. He used a premium repair kit to get his gun back up. The vehicle repairs weren't that bad, 21,000 credits, but it's the price of the premium ammunition. And it's not like he just loaded premium and ran around derping everybody in the face. He used the premium ammo that he had. He only had 10 rounds. He used it when he needed to use it. But it's ridiculously expensive at this sort of level. So if you, I mean, it's difficult enough to run a profit in a Tier 10 machine, although they did make the Tier 10 tanks slightly more profitable a patch or two ago. And you can still, if you have a decent game and you win, and you're running a premium account, you'll probably run a profit, a small profit on your Tier 10 tanks most of the time. But if you're running premium ammunition and you're buying them with credits, don't expect to make money on your Tier 10 tanks unless you have a result like that and you do 9,000 damage. So that was Volkers in the Chinese Tier 10 medium, the 121. Here's Uncle Magic Angel. Great name, by the way. In a tank that, well, it just isn't very good. When I got my Lowe nearly 2 years ago, it cost 8,000 gold. And it wasn't bad. These days it costs half again as much, and it's just not as good. They keep making it bigger. And of course with the introduction of all these new tanks, much higher penetration guns, much better aiming time, this is not the tank that it used to be. And it wasn't that great, even 2 years ago. You don't often see Lowe drivers doing particularly well. But you're going to today. Uncle's ammunition loadout, 24 armor piercing, 10 APCR, 6 high explosive. Now, they're coming down here to the corner of fail on Arctic, but it's not quite that faily when there's no artillery. But watch this Super Pershing. I hear the Super Pershing's got good frontal armor, yo. Yeah, it's not that good. Gets a good shot into that ST. This Super Pershing's not even... We'll just ignore that Super Pershing, right? He's no use to the team alive. There we go. So, whole bunch of tanks down on this corner. Oh, he's set the E75 on fire. Frontal transmission. It's rarely good news. Got a couple of luck. Well, I'm not going to say lucky. The gun mantlet on the Lowe is actually pretty damn good, and the accuracy of the gun is pretty good. Did you see what happened to that ST? He just evaporated. Oh man! Now, yeah, they've got problems up behind. Our platoon mate in the Indian Panzer is one shot away from dying. And there's a whole bunch of bad guys coming around the corner. There we go. We've just lost them. Our platoon mate in the IS-3 goes back to try and stem the flow. Meanwhile, we're having fun sniping people's commanders' hatches. And actually hitting them. One shot out of 3. He's done 1600 damage so far. But they've got to start killing tanks. Things are looking pretty bad back there, and he spotted it. He's probably on voice chat with the rest of the guys in his platoon, and the IS-3's going, can really use some help back here. E-75's gone back to support. They're pouring some very effective fire into that AMX 5120. IS-3's not taking any chances. Uncle's moving back up. There's an AMX 5100 around that corner as well, somewhere. Oh, 2 good hits into that guy. He's not feeling very clever now. He's going to try to get the hell out of there. Unfortunately, the E-75 decides to give chase. And oh, that's going to hurt. And he's getting hit by all different kinds of targets. And it's not just the AMX 5100. Yep, there they are. Now we can see 2 T-44s, and that E-75 is just giving them his flank. But they've got some pretty meaty backup up there as well. As we're going to see in a second. There it is. 409 damage. Now that sounds like one of those Russian 122mm guns to me. Our E-75 has chased after and destroyed the AMX 5100, and now he's managed to get himself around the back of all of those heavies down on the corner of Fail. 3,600 damage done here. I wouldn't be going out there if I were you, Mr. IS-3. Don't forget, there it is. SU-12244. I knew there was something out there with a big old Russian gun. We've just found out what it is. Now, these fellas down here are trying to take advantage of the E-75 coming around, but kind of too little and kind of too late. T-44's gone. We know there's an SU-122-44 out there as well. There's a T-54 on that side of the map too. And it looks like the Jagdtiger and T-29 are, boom, 173 damage? What does 173 damage? Unless somebody's firing high explosive. But now they're being capped. Oh, Tiger 2 taking our tracks out. This could be bad. Being capped by a T-44. Nail the Tiger 2. We know there's an SU-122-44 up there taking pot shots at us. So he's going to use the corpse of his teammate here to try to protect his flank from the SU-122-44 and start taking shots at this T-54 and attempt to reset the cap. T-44? Sorry, T-54. T-54's not stupid, however. He's keeping himself hull down. He's in a good, strong position. We're taking bounces there from something off to our left, probably the SU-122. He's got to waste his first couple of shots here blowing this guy's cover away. So he uses his armor piercing for that. To be honest, at this point, I'd be switching to high explosive. He's switching to APCR. He's still going for a penetrating hit. But the front of the turret of the T-54, 80% cap. There's the SU-122. 85, 86. See, he's hitting with premium ammo, but it's just not going through. He's got to do it now. 99. He hit him. Cap reset. SU-122 is still putting completely ineffective fire in. RE-50, we're the only one left alive now. RE-50 is calling us a retard. To be fair, high explosive would have been a much better choice for resetting the cap there. But it worked. It was risky, but it worked. These two are going to rush him now. Are they going to try? He nails the T-54. SU-122 on 177 health suddenly thinks, screw you guys, I'm going home. 390 average damage on the SU-122's gun. He can't one-shot kill Uncle. He's gonna have to get two good, well, it's gonna take 2 hits. Uncle only has to hit him once. Now the SU-122-44 is based on the chassis of the T-44, so it's very fast and manoeuvrable, and he could easily have turned around and be waiting for us to come around this corner. The Lowe does not have very, very good gun depression either, so if his first shot damages us and blows our tracks off, we could be in trouble, although we do still have a repair kit. There he is. There's the gun depression. Get back. You're not going to make that shot. You can afford to take 1 hit though. And there it is. It's damaged our engine, but it didn't take our tracks. And now we've got you. And there's his battle results screen, and it is pretty impressive. I felt like he only really made one dodgy choice in that entire game, and that was switching to premium ammo rather than high explosive to try to reset the cap on that T-54. It would have only taken 1 direct hit from high explosive to do some damage and reset that cap, but you know, if it's stupid but it works, it isn't stupid, and it did work, and he walked away with a Defender medal and killed them all. So it's hard to really argue. There's his mastery badge, his steel wall. How many hits did he take? 22 hits received, only 6 actual penetrations. That is wow. The Lowe's not bad, you know. The armour is not great, but if all you're showing them is the front of your turret, this tank will bounce shots. And the gun is probably the strongest feature of the tank. Although 30 shots fired, 20 direct hits. Well, he was shooting at medium to long range at tanks that were mostly hull down, trying to hit and find their weak spots, or shooting at the top hatches of other tanks that really weren't giving him much to shoot at. So that's not really unsurprising, and it's not really a criticism of the accuracy of the gun. But look at that. The only tank that out-damaged him was a Jagdtiger. Tier 8 premium heavy in a Tier 9 match. Getting out-damaged by a Jagdtiger is nothing to be ashamed of. Hell of a game. Well played. 140,000 credits earned. And that's why people buy Tier 8 premiums. It's because of the credit modifier. They earn a metric butt-ton of credits. And the XP wasn't bad either. That's undoubled, although it is with premium. Ammo resupply costs? Yeah, that premium ammo does not come cheap. 51,000 credits it cost him to resupply all of his ammo, but he did fire 30 shots. Not all of those premium, obviously. And he still walked away with an 81,000 credit profit. So I couldn't really recommend anybody buy the Lowe. It's nowhere near as good as it was when I bought mine 2 years ago, and it's half again as expensive as it used to be back then. My recommendation for a Tier 8 premium heavy would be the IS-6. It's just such a beast of a tank. The gun is average, but it's got a good rate of fire, and the armour on the thing is just amazing. And it's cheaper, so it's really no contest. Or the T-34. T-34s are very good as well. But surprisingly, the Lowe is the most expensive, and I really don't see what it offers other than the accuracy of the gun over the other Tier 8 premium heavies. It certainly doesn't have the alpha damage, but you know, what you're going to do. Uncle Magic Angel certainly managed to make this thing sit up and beg in that game, so very, very well done to him. Final replay in this roundup is Farico Wraith, who I believe plays on the North American server. Here he is in his Comet. Tier 7 British medium tank. Now, it's unusual to see people playing British tanks on the North American server. Sidestrafe has done an awful lot to popularise the British tanks, specifically the mediums, on the North American server, but they're generally not regarded to be very good. Ha, what do they know? Now you can see his ammo loadouts: 49 armour piercing, 12 armour piercing composite rigid premium. It's a standard battle here on steps. It's Tier 8 games in a Tier 7 medium tank. But there's not that many Tier 8s. And there's one of them, the Panther 2. Now that AMX M445 up there is making the best of a hold down position. And you can go hold down and pop up over hill lines like this in the Comet. That gun mantlet armour is surprisingly good. Unfortunately, in order to do any good, it has to actually take the shots. You can see that one went in the turret front, which isn't great on the Comet. And if you're doing pop-up fights like this, you're not really taking advantage of the rate of fire of your gun. Especially not if he is waiting for you to keep coming up like that. Got one into him. You see how this is working. The M4 isn't showing anything to shoot at until he's ready to take a shot. So you're literally going one for one. He takes a shot, you take a shot, and you're going to lose. That's no way to be fighting. And Farico realises this, and he's thinking, nah, mug's game. Trading shots with an AMX M445 from the front is, you know, you're going to get nowhere fast. So here are some slightly more juicy targets, and you can see how he's using the absolute limit of his gun depression here. Not showing any more of his tank than he needs to shoot at these guys. flat panzer there. Just can't hit him. Panther 2. There we go. That's the gun mantlet that I'm talking about. In fact, that one even just that one just bounced off the side of the turret. So unsurprising that that one did nothing. And at the moment, yeah, they're down 2 tanks, but it's only 2 tanks. And the situation seems to be mostly in control over here. Enemy T-20 driver complaining about the lack of penetration on his 90mm gun. Oh, dear. Can't believe it. Out of all the Tier 7 mediums, the T-20 is complaining about his gun. Really? Well, it's possible he doesn't have the 90mm yet. Farico's decided, right, the time is now ripe. We're going to swoop in and we're going to claim some victims. Panther's occupied with targets to his front. He's just run out of friends. But look at the score. They're down 8 tanks. They've handled themselves reasonably well over on this side of the map, but the other side has just been a massive bag of fail. And the bitching and whining is about to start. There we go. Everybody on the other side of the map wasted. There's now only 4 of us left versus 10 enemies. And I do apologise for that Churchill 7 driver in chat. I was almost going to say, yep, you can tell this is the North American server because of chat, but it's just as bad on the European server. I just don't understand most of it because it's in Polish and Romanian and French and German and so on and so on. But the English speakers are just as bad on the EU server as well. And now we're being capped. Okay, now at this point, if you outnumber the enemy 2 to 1 and you're still capping, with a Hellcat shooting at you, I think you can probably rack up some impressive kills at the expense of these idiots. And the T-20 does have the 90mm gun and is complaining about the penetration, so he's probably not going to be much of a challenge. I've just lost another one. Took a hit there from the T-69. T-20 doesn't understand. Look at that. How the fuck? T-20 doesn't understand how he can be killed. Being shot at from the side by a Comet. I think you're going to find it's quite easy. There's only 3 of them left. But look at that. Just such easy kills. Now what was it? Was that an IS-2 went up after the Hellcat? No, it's a KV-1S. He's nailed the Hellcat. But he's not getting out of there alive. Come on, one more. Bounced. Hit the front plate, well angled. That one wasn't. Not looking quite so bad now. 2 versus 5. Unfortunately, that Super Pershing has just been totally overrun. He is not going to survive much longer. Yeah, he's gone. So, this is it. It's coming down to the knuckle now. Now, the Super Pershing did a lot of damage to those guys before he went down. But it's Farico versus 5 enemies. He has 26 rounds of ammunition left. So he's prioritising the tanks on the lowest health, just to reduce the number of guns firing back at him. He's got some good cover here. Right, okay, well, and that he's going to have to go for the 3001p. Because you can kill him quickly. He's in a good spot to take advantage of all this natural cover here from the... there we go. From the rock, the elevation, and that wrecked tank. takes a hit from the Tiger. Jagdpanther's got to be his next victim. Oh no, no, there's the 361H. Okay, so there's another good kill. Well, not so much a good kill, but a useful kill. Comes around, where's the Tiger? Oh! Jagdpanther bounces. That was lucky. Gets a second shot in, gets a third shot in. Dead Jagdpanther. He hasn't used many rounds of premium ammo yet. He's still got 7 of them left. He's gonna need them. And now he's dancing with a Tiger. 582 health. He can't afford to be trading shots with the Tiger. The Tiger is almost on full health. And that long 88 is going to do an average of 240 damage per shot. So while it doesn't fire as fast, we just don't have the health. 3 hits from that Tiger, we're gone. So he switched to his 7 remaining APCR shots. And he can't afford to dance with this Tiger for long. We don't know where that... I think it's a KV-1S. We don't know where he is. So he's going to try to side scrape. It works. His tracks eat it. But he bounces off the heavily angled side armour of the Tiger. But now the Tiger's fired and he can start trying to use this manoeuvrability. Unfortunately, he's in a Comet, not a Cromwell. And the Comet is pretty quick, but it ain't no Cromwell. But he's punishing this Tiger. He's taken half of his health off. He's got it now. It doesn't matter that his tracks are gone. The Tiger's now sideways on. He can place his shots. He's used all of his APCR. He's got to go for the weak spots now. He's back to armor-piercing ammo. The Tiger gets another one in, and his tracks eat it again. Tiger gone. Now it's 1v1. We have no idea where this remaining enemy tank is, but it's a tier 6 versus a tier 7. And this guy hasn't been spotted the entire game, so it's a good bet he's actually AFK. It looks like that Tiger thought, thinly armoured medium tank. I'll hit him with high explosive. And his armour beat it. Where is the last enemy tank? And it's a KV-1S, and he is AFK. We've only got 5 shots. We might have to end up ramming this guy to death. 4 shots. He's going for the engine shots, trying to set him on fire. 2 shots, 1 shot left. He is on fire. Get that shot away. And there's the Faden's medal. Killed the last enemy tank on the enemy team with the last remaining shot in your gun. And there's the battle results screen. Kolovanov's medal stood alone against 4 or more enemy tanks and won. It was actually 5 of them, although 1 was AFK. Top Gun, steel wall in a Comet, Bradley Walters, and the Faden's medal. 5,600 damage done in a Comet. Just absurd. More than twice the damage of anybody on either team. Just ridiculously well played. 8 kills. Base experience before any modifiers are added for winning or for a premium account, 2042. And in fact he's not even playing with a premium account, and he still made 48,000 credits profit. Holy crap. That would have been a 146,000 credit game in a non-premium vehicle if he'd been running a premium account. He would have made 97,000 credits profit, even firing 10 rounds of premium ammo. It's just absurd. So yeah, I think that is definitely well worth some gold in anybody's language. Fariko Wraith, very, very well done indeed. Now, I know that Fariko is playing without the benefit of a premium account, and because the gift shop packages are different on the North American server where he plays, So I'm sending him the on-track starter kit, which is 2,500 gold, 172,000 credits, and 2 weeks of premium account. So congratulations for Rico Wraith. Enjoy your prize. You deserve it. In the meantime, stick around folks, a few more days. I'll be announcing the actual winners and giving out some Tier 8 premium tanks. As always, take care on that battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.